Hey gang, I was having a conversation with a practice owner the other day, and they asked me a question. I said, "Are you so? What's going on? Are you a recruiter or are you a coach?" They were confused. Yes, is the short answer. Yes, I am both. But um, I went to PT school, got out in the '90s, and started a business in the late like 1999. And then, but that was solo, and then went on and opened a business, partnered up, and opened another location in 2001. And we grew that to like 6 locations, 40 some odd employees, $4 million run rate, and what have you. Ended up growing that and running it for almost 20 years. And then sold that business, but they're also overlapped. Okay, so I was running that business with multiple locations while I was also coaching other private practice and business owners. So I've been doing that full time in essence for the past 8 years. And when I say in essence, I mean I still had the PT practice, the business for a few years, but I was spending about 6 to 8 hours a week running that until COVID hit, which made it changed everything, right? So I sold that business. We sold it, got exited, um, and have been doing full-time business coaching since, continuing that. Uh, Last year, a couple things happened that came together. One was for the previous 7 years or so, I've been teaching business owners how to do recruiting and hiring. Well, they have a lot of other things on their plate. A lot of them are seeing patients. A lot of them are doing, they're managing staff. They're not doing that as a full-time gig. So even when they were good at it, they'd put it on the shelf for a while and they'd come back and forth and that kind of thing. And it wasn't their primary kind of competence, right? So it wasn't what they were focused on every day. So there was a need there, right? And it's hard to find therapists right now. So we all know that. So there was a need there, client need. I came across this survey, a Gallup survey that they've actually found out they've been doing since 1987. Okay, the thing that's key about it, and what kind of put me onto this was 70% of American employees are disengaged, according to the Gallup Employee Engagement Survey in 2023. And I looked at that, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, they've been doing that for like 50 years." Well, I looked it up; it wasn't quite 50, but it's 37. They've been doing it since 1987. And the other big thing is that number, that 70% number, hasn't really changed. Like it went down to 64 actually during COVID. It's been as high as 72, 74 or something, but it's bounced around 70 for almost 4 decades now. Um, so client need, uh, societal need, kind of an existential need, since things aren't changing and 70% of people basically are disengaged at work, meaning they're unhappy. They're not fully invested in their job. They're not clicking with the team. They're not loving what they're doing, right? They're disengaged. The other stat in that was so very interesting was like 19% are actively disengaged, meaning they're not passively like not rowing as fast as the other people in the boat, or not helping out as much, or not doing. They're sabotaging, right? They're banging on other people's paddles. They're drilling holes in the boat, whatever. And so they're really not happy at work. And I'm looking at the recruiting and hiring process going, well, we have a way that we look for people who are actually a true fit, right? So they're good employees, not just good at what they do, but also a fit with the team. So they have similar priorities, they align behaviorally, they have similar values, that kind of thing. So if you select for those folks, not only do you have high performing people, but people who contribute to your culture, who further the cause, the purpose, the reason your practice exists in the first place. Um, so anyway, there was that kind of that confluence of this societal need, client need, and I had owned a business, run a business, and I haven't for a while. And I wanted to show my clients that you could actually do this thing without it being all consuming. You could start a business, you can build a business if you have the skills and you know what you're doing, without spending 12-hour days every day doing it. So we invest time in it, don't get me wrong, but I've also hired a team. We've got recruiters, we've got processes. Your role really in growing the business, this is a big one. Your role in growing a business is to try to get off the field early and as much as possible, You can still go on, but do it deliberately, meaning that you're the coach now. You're picking the players, you're putting them in positions to succeed, you're giving them the plays and the resources and the things they need to succeed. And when you do that, they're going to, be happy because they're being productive and they're getting stuff done and they're on the team that they want to be on. And, all those things kind of together. So, one of my core values in my coaching business is walk the walk. So, if I'm going to be teaching other business owners and working with them and helping them with businesses, I think it's super important that I also have a business, run a business, grow a business outside of just the coaching realm. So that's kind of my whole thought process and what I'm about. So yes, I'm a recruiter and also an entrepreneur. I'm a CEO now. I run the agency, and I'm a business coach who helps other business owners, mostly PT practice owners. Thanks.